doing? How y'all doing? I am your host. So right now it's 28-27, first and goal. Fourth quarter, there's a minute 46 left. Tennessee's trying to hold on. I don't know. I have no clue how the momentum of this team has gone. I watched when we ended last stream, the game kind of started. Well, that's clever. I just noticed. So one end zone is all orange for Nashville, Tennessee, and then on this one, the ILL in Nashville is orange for Illinois. That's kind of clever. Oh my God. Okay, yeah. So Luke Altmaier, he's snap ran to the right. Hold on, I'm probably getting moving down the floor. Sorry, let me fix the audio here. Hold on, sorry. I didn't realize that. Yoink. Let me pause that. And that's my intro. Sorry, people. That's my intro. Let me fix that. How about now? Can you all hear me now? Okay, sweet. Sweet. Hopefully there's no echo. Echo. Let's do this one. Pull this up here. Watch this. How about now? See how it's not drowning me out too much? It's still there. The music's still there, but it's not drowning me out. All right. Here we go. I didn't realize how this game was ending and where it was coming down to. Right now, yeah, ball's sitting on the 3. Illinois is just trying to maintain possession of the ball because they kick a field goal, they win this thing. They're trying not to kick the field goal, give Tennessee time to come back and march down the field, win the game. Yep. Altmaier takes another knee. Third and goal. Are they letting it play out? Okay, third and goal. It's probably going to be on 1. You know, I was such an idiot in one of my predictions. Oh, look at that. Look at that archive right there. Luke Altmaier has been to the Music City Bowl. He went in 2011 as a kid. Ain't that something? Gonna take another knee. Oh man, they're getting chippy. Some of those D linemen for the Vols, they're getting after it. You know what? I'll admit, if I did kind of my due diligence, I was about to say I had to double check. Glad my mic's not muted, because that has happened before many times where I have had the mic muted, and we've gone halfway through the stream and it's like, oh, what the hell? Okay, fourth and goal. They're going to call people over. Now the only thing left is to kick the field goal and win it. I like these blue unis for Illinois. The fighting, like the orange, don't get me wrong, the orange is cool, but their dark blues look special. And you know what? Maybe I'm a prisoner of the moment. I kind of like the blues a little more than their oranges. There, I said what I said. Sorry. Not everybody can pull an orange look like Clemson. Okay, here we go. 29-yard field goal. Ooh, back to back. Here we go. It's good. It's up and it's true. Illinois wins it on a walk-off field goal, 30-28. 9th win of the season. There we go. There we go, people. All right, so that's how that one ends. I had no clue that's how that one was gonna end. All I know is that the big bowl games are tomorrow. Which let me give you a little sneak peek, a little preview to what we're gonna be doing in this sports stream. We're gonna be looking at this a little bit later down the line. Um, oh, that looks good. But here's what my kind of objective was for this stream was I wanted to talk a little bit about Josh Allen because the Bills lost the other day, and I had this whole stream set up, but I got lazy and I never made the stream, which my bad. And as you guys can see, the title of the video, if not now, when? And what I was going to kind of do was just talk about the NFL this week and everything that had transpired. Kind of give my thoughts and my reactions to this week because this week was week 16, if I'm not mistaken, week 16 or week 17. We know for a fact the last week will be next week, and so I wanted to give my reaction to kind of the Bills losing, the Lions being eliminated from the playoffs. Gosh, what else happened? The Bears and the 49ers had a classic game on Sunday Night Football. I'm trying to think of any other. Because with like the holidays of it, being Christmas Eve and then Christmas, and then a little bit like with kind of bowl games, like there was a doubleheader too on Saturday where like the Packers and the Ravens played on Saturday, which I made jokes about love how we've written off the Ravens and the Ravens suck, yet how many touchdowns did Derrick Henry have against my boys? Like, dude, they made my Packers look freaking. There's a reason why he's King Henry. That's all I'm going to say. There's a reason why he's King Henry. So so that's what I want to do in this stream is go over some of the NFL stuff, give my reactions to the Bills dropping one, because again, this video is going to be a little bit more center focused on me giving an opinion about Josh Allen, and then to end it off, let's look at the schedule. I mean, not the schedule, but like look at the bracket and go, hey, maybe we should, make a prediction here. Wait, not here. There it is. There we go. Sorry, that took forever. So, all right, let me get this queued up here. Jump on in, everybody. Come on in. Hold on, let me. Let's do. I gotta do. All right. Here we go. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, because here's our Christmas games. Here's our Christmas games that ended up happening where definitely not what people had predicted at the beginning of the season, because nobody predicted that Mahomes would be injured. Nobody predicted that the Lions would be on the verge of being eliminated. And then with Washington, nobody expected Jaden Daniels to be injured either. And Cowboys, I mean, if you ask a Cowboys fan at the beginning of the season, they'd still be within contention for getting a playoff spot around here. So, some interesting games, to say the least. All right. Now, okay. So scroll down, and again, some of the Saturday games that happened. With the Chargers losing, this was the game that I think officially eliminated the Colts from playoff contention. And so they just, hey, knee surgery tomorrow. No, sorry, that's my ADHD speaking. Okay, here we go. But then we have, and then the Ravens whooped up on the Packers because Derrick Henry had 4 touchdowns. And then everybody's calling for, oh, why haven't they ran Derrick Henry like this? Why haven't they not, why don't they run the ball? Why don't they use Derrick Henry this much? It's because Derrick Henry's not the main focal point of what the Ravens offense should be. If we're paying attention and watching some of the main stuff for this Ravens offense, we know it. It's Lamar. And kind of some games are, I wouldn't call it a one-off. I'm not going to say that this Derrick Henry game was a one-off. But a lot of, I would say a lot of the reason for the Ravens' success as of late and recently is because when Lamar is on fire and he's going, that's when the Ravens are the most dangerous. And it's kind of the same when you look at the Chiefs. When Mahomes isn't playing well, look at what this whole season was. When Josh Allen's not playing well, look at all the Bills' losses this season. Like, I think the quarterback has a big say in, well, not like actually, but you get what I'm trying to mean. Like, when the quarterback's mojo is not going and things aren't clicking on offense, you're not scoring. And even with the Texans getting a big win here, I would say this win is more on, like, I will give CJ Stroud credit because he did have 2 touchdowns. But a lot of these wins for the Texans, it's not because they're just wowing you with CJ Stroud's arm and the offense is just overpowering everybody. It's because when you look at who the Texans have played, I think the Eagles are not in here, but the Broncos are in here. 49ers are, there's an asterisk next to this. Let me pull it up here. The reason why there's an asterisk here and here on the Ravens one is Lamar wasn't playing in this game, and then Brock Purdy wasn't playing in this game. This is Mac Jones. But look at this. He shut down Trevor Lawrence. He shut down Josh Allen. They've shut down, I think this is the game Jones got injured in, and which, remember, we were talking MVP for Jones and the Colts. Mahomes was in this game. They shut Mahomes down. So you look at all, and you look at these wins. Okay, blowout here. Okay, it's against the Titans. Blowout here against the Ravens. This is the first. Derrick Henry wasn't playing. Lamar wasn't playing. And countless numbers of defensive guys weren't playing in this game. Everybody's going to forget about that, but that's why that one's an ugly score. Impressive as hell. But I think the other thing, too, is I think Huntley might have thrown a pick 6 in that one as well. Excuse me. Let's keep it going. But you look at these wins, 20-10. Okay. They whooped ass on the Cardinals. I'll give them credit here on this 40-20. But 23-21, 20-16, 20-10, 20-16, 23-19. We got a 23-19. 23-19. Any Monsters Incorporated fans out there? 16-13, 36-29. This is only a touchdown. 18-15. What happened in 18-15? Any history buffs out there, let me know anything that happened in 18-15. But you look at all these scores, they aren't, excluding the Cardinals and the Ravens, they aren't blowouts. Like when you look at the Rams, let me look at the Rams here. I know the Rams have blown some people out. The Seahawks have blown some people out. Or this, 41-24. This is a blowout. Okay? This is a blowout, people. So, anyways. All right, let's keep it going. Guys. But so I think, yeah, the Texans defense. All this to say, I don't know what point I was trying to make, but I think the Texans defense was pretty legit. I wouldn't want to play the Texans in the postseason, because with this win, Oh yeah, because we were talking about eliminating the Colts because they beat the Chargers and all that. But like, yeah, this wasn't a huge. Like this game was really interesting. And then the Bengals when games don't matter. Games don't matter. They're already mathematically eliminated. Burrow puts on a show, 2 touchdowns. The Browns and the Steelers. You know what? A lot of people. You know what? I don't know why. I don't know why Rodgers is trying to throw it to MVS 3 times in a row. Um, and I've seen the replays too, where there's a check down he could have done to Washington over the middle. If you're watching it, because it shows the aerial view, and like the guy, well, and it'd also help if DK wasn't suspended. Oh, too soon. But the the receiver to the left was covered. The receiver to the right is where he put it because his whole body was rotated because we knew he was going for the back pylon. But the whether it was either Washington or Freiermuth, whoever cut across like in the middle to just sit there in front, he was wide open, and Rodgers did not look that way, and we saw what happened. They forced the ball 3 times, and again, a lot of people would call for pass interference. Um, a lot of people would call for that, and when it mattered the most, where hey Steelers, you take care of business, you beat the Browns, you lock up the North. It doesn't come to a winner take all against the Ravens. Couldn't get done. The standard was the standard. They increased their chances to go 9-8, baby, secure that 9-8 seed, which that's going to be memed forever. Not a good game. Not a good game. I'm kind of not a makeshift Steelers fan, but I still think Rodgers can sling it. He did not sling it well in this game. And the other part too, because we didn't talk about like everything else that had transpired in the game. We're just talking about the last scenario and the last plays of the game too. When you, at least for me, when I'm watching film, I think as a corner or a safety or a defensive coordinator, I would know that Rodgers and MVS have that connection and that chemistry already, because MVS was a quick 2 option or a 3 if Tunyon wasn't getting the ball or Adams wasn't getting the ball in Green Bay. And like, we know this. Like, I think MVS is kind of an underrated receiver. I thought he was pretty good with the Chiefs in their run to the Super Bowl. And I think, I mean, a lot of people forgot. Oh, because I think he's been to the Saints as well. But like, yeah, when you follow the Packers closely and all their receivers and whatnot, you kind of see, oh, this guy's pretty legit, and so I've kind of had that opinion about him since. But yeah, when you already know there's that already pre-built chemistry, and the ball has already been, you threw it to him on first and second down to go for it, like, it just, again, play calling was bad. So, but let's move forward. I'm rambling. Saints have won 4 in a row. And again, Saints, Cardinals, Bengals, Dolphins as well. When games don't matter, this is when they show up. 34-26. So Jaguars secure the South 23-17. Now, I will give the Colts credit here. Phillip Rivers and the boys, they did have a chance here towards the end of the game. Buccaneers, I wonder what's going on with the Bucs, man. They have not been playing good ever since this loss. This is a write-off. Like, I think it's an anomaly, but something happened here. Something happened in these games, because for them to start the way that they did, where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-2, to then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1-7 after starting 6-2. Like, this is, we joke about it. We've joked about the Minnesota Vikings and their collapses. This is equivalent to a Vikings type of collapse, or the Steelers, when the Steelers went 11-0, 12-0 to start the 2020 season. and then ended up, you know, losing to Baker and the Browns in the postseason. Bucks Evans says he's focused on finale, not future. No, that's a good thing. You know what? And a lot of people are putting this on the coach, and a lot of people are saying, you know, if they don't beat the Panthers and they lose, he should be fired. I could see that happening because this is the NFL, and I could see him getting fired. Would it be deserving? Deserving is an interesting word, I would say, but I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility of after the Bucks lose and they're eliminated by the Panthers. I would not be surprised if Bowles is fired. I wouldn't. Yeah. Anyways. Okay, what else? I think now the other thing that I wanted to talk about, because we have the Bucks, and we have the Bucks being the Bucks. Because right here, look at the math here. The math lines up where, yeah, I don't, because the NFC, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I think if Tampa wins, I think there's a situation where if Tampa wins, they're still not in, just because of math. And I know it's so stupid. I think personally, winner take all. Like, if you win, you're in. Because I don't think if Carolina loses this game, I don't think they should be in. And I think this win percentage point here, right here, I think that's what does it. I don't know. We'll just see. Okay, what else? Yeah, so Dolphins beat the Bucks. Seahawks just take care of business against the Panthers. Patriots did, look at this, 42-10. Like, what? These kind of scores don't happen often. And then the Bears and the 49ers. It was a fun game. Like, look at this score here. Okay. Where's the, what am I looking at here? No, not recap. Play-by-play. There we go. 7-0, 7-7, 7-14, 14-14, 14-21, 21-21, 28-21, 28-28, 28-35, 28-28, 35-35, 38-35, 42-38, 38-42. And then, how did that one end? It ended on the Bears having a chance there, very final play of the game, and Caleb Williams threw it up. A lot of credit I would give to the defensive line for the 49ers for the rush attack, because he rushed that final throw if you watched it, because it landed short. But it was a freaking crazy game. It was a good game. Damn good game too. But funny is not the word I'm looking for here when I'm talking about the 49ers, but I've liked it out of all the teams, and I think I've said this before in a stream, where of all the NFC teams that are out there, the most resilient team, and I could even, even in the AFC side too, the 49ers are very resilient, because you look at the Eagles. If the Eagles were missing two of their star defenders, A.J. Brown wasn't playing, they missed Jalen Hurts for significant time, and then, Goddard goes out, because Kittle hasn't missed a lot of times, but he has missed periods of time. Like, he scored one touchdown in the Colts game, and then he was out for the rest of the game, because I think he got a concussion, if I'm not mistaken, and then he didn't even play the other day against the Bears. To see how impressive and to see how competitive the 49ers are being while missing all these key pieces, arguably, I would say for the last even with Jimmy G, okay, I'm going back to the 21 season. even with Jimmy G, arguably when you talk about teams that rule the NFC and that are the best and always have a shot at competing for a Lambeau, you can't not bring up the 49ers. And the reason why is because if you take away as many star players as the 49ers are missing, put it on the Seahawks, put it on the Patriots, put it on, the Bills. Bills aren't winning 11 games if Josh Allen misses significant time like he did. Like that's my hot take. Not a lot of people might agree with that, but that's my hot take for how the 49ers, just even with missing pieces, they're still getting wins. And to think how good they would be if Bosa was playing, if Warner was playing, if Ayuk was playing. And even I think Trent Williams missed some time too. And that's not even to mention Kittle's also out too. So the 49ers are missing a lot of key pieces, yet they still win. They're 12-4. I think they have a chance, if we're not mistaken. Let's go look at the conference here. Let's go to no. Well, actually, winner take all against Seattle. Winner take all. Winner take all. They could actually beat Seattle. That's a good take. Thank you, my man. Thank you. I try to have good sports takes. Not all of them. Not all of them are good. I want to look. Trying to look. Just laughing at your profile pic, man. All right, guys, let's keep it rolling here. Let's keep it rolling. But yeah, we got a winner take all here for 49ers in Seattle, which they're gonna wear their faithful uniforms, the All Blacks, which look pretty tight. I'm kind of, there's parts of me where I'm a little meh on. I've noticed that, and this all started. Look at this ad. This all started with This all started with the Viking. Well, actually, maybe it stems back to the Color Rush days, but parts of me is convinced this all started in 2022 with, maybe even back to 2016 with the Seahawks and their Grinch uniforms. But the fact that the Vikings did their white out, where you make the Vikings logo, you white it out, you do the helmets white out, like Christmas theme, all white, and just it looks cool. Like the glacier purple, it's so sick to have all the fans dressed in white there. It was really cool. Aesthetically, it's pleasing. And then all of a sudden the Bills are like, we got to have our all whites. The Bengals, we got to have our all whites. The Packers, gosh, who else? I think Steelers don't have one now that I'm looking at some of the Colts already had a white helmet because it's the Colts. Panthers it's reversed. They have their all blacks. 49ers. I like the 49ers kind of throwbacks. These the difference with here. Let me show you all. Let me show you all the difference here. Let me show you. Oh, see, there they are. There's the... Well, these are the ones that some fans made forever ago. These ones have been around forever. They weren't officially licensed by the NFL because everybody has a blackout jersey. It's just something... Not scalpers. I don't know the term I'm looking for, but just like secondhand markets do. Here we go. I think acrylic. What's the word? Like the literature of the... Too fancy. Whatever. Anyways, the text of it, the font looks cool. But what are we... Okay. Because we got the throwbacks of Montana, because that is what Montana and Jerry Rice, this is what their jerseys look like. Same with T.O. Because they had an era. Yeah, there we are. See, back when Jimmy G was still there, their 75th year. I think they brought it back for the 75 year. Before Purdy got there. And then look at this too. Like, they've had black before. Like, this isn't just some random concept. Like, dude, we got Navarro Bowman in one of these jerseys. Like, this isn't a new concept. But they're look at this. Like, it's cool. It's cool. The blocky numbers, and then because I think the 49er like the whole 49er jersey is aesthetically one of the coolest ones. Second to, of course, my Green Bay Packers. But let me show you. So this is this is the logo. Throwback. Let's do throwback. There it is. I like, well, of course, this one's cool. This one's cool. You know what would be a fun jersey combination is if they threw I think he had a name. I don't remember his name, his character name. Because you know how they call the 49ers one, whoops. I mean, the Pat for the Patriots. But if you put this on the side of a helmet and then you have Patriot. Dude, how sick would that be? You got the Patriots wearing this, and then you got the 49ers throwing this on on an all white or something like that. That'd look good. But it's neither here nor there. Alright, people. Hope y'all are enjoying the stream. Thanks for the likes, guys. Let me check. I haven't checked the music. Are we good on music? Okay, yeah, we're good. We got a couple more minutes. Just had to double check before we run out of time. And then last night, the Falcons almost blew a 21-3 lead. Where have we heard that before? Which I love how the commenters made a joke about that, and Joe Buck was like, of course you had to bring that up. And it's like, hell yeah, who wouldn't? Because 28-3, man. 28-3. But yeah, the offensive production, and if it wasn't for that last drive and the field goal, Rams are winning this game. Like Puka, his around the corner touchdown that gave them the lead. No, I think it tied it. My bad. It tied it. But just the momentum of the game after Verse blocked the field goal, gave a peace sign, and just down the sideline. Like that swung the momentum of the game, because after Bijan took his 93-yard run to the house, Falcons didn't do anything offensively for the rest of the game. Because you look at the box score. Whoops. I'm looking at it, but you guys aren't seeing it. My bad. You look at the box score. Offensively, nothing. Which I think after yesterday, I think Robinson now holds the single season all-purpose yards with the 2,200. I might be wrong. You can fact check me on that. Cool for him. What else? Nothing really. Just Falcons beat the Rams. They hold on. And then let's get to this one. The Eagles and the Bills. This one, I think, has the makings. Everybody, I still think this could be a Super Bowl preview kind of game. To me, this was my Super Bowl. The people's Super Bowl, because last season, as much as people did not want it, and as much as everybody wanted Washington and Buffalo in the Super Bowl, I wanted Eagles versus Buffalo. I did not give a shit. I liked the Eagles. I liked the Bills. Everybody hates on the Eagles, and they're the big bad boys of the NFC, and everybody hates them, and they're boring football, this and that. I didn't care, truthfully. I I could care less. I thought, because there's parts of me where, and this is why this game was entertaining. There's parts of me where, which to me, this game was a lot more entertaining than the Bears 49ers one. And maybe it has to do with, yeah, I like Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen a little bit more than I like Brock Purdy and Caleb Williams. But also because there's there's risk in this game. There's, oh my gosh, both defenses are actually playing well instead of, because that's one thing that the 49ers and the Bears, because everybody's talking, oh my gosh, this instant classic. Look at how many times, five or six lead changes and ties in the game, which I think set a record in the NFL or something. Everybody's talking about that, which I get that, because that is a cool aspect to look at. But the other thing to look at is no defense was getting played at all, which I do like defense. But to a point. There's a point when you like defense because defenses are playing good by forcing turnovers versus defensive games because the offense is sucking. Those games are absolutely terrible to watch. But when it's like this, where, well, how many times did Josh Allen turn the ball over, or how many times did Buffalo was able to shut down Saquon, or how many times were the Eagles within scoring range or something, but then the Bills would get a sack or force a turnover to push it back, so then the Eagles would have to punt, or vice versa in some way or some nature. Like, that's what made this game entertaining versus you watched the Detroit versus Minnesota game the other day. There were a lot of punts in that game, but there was also not a lot of offense either. It was a higher scoring game, but there were more points, and it was such a... Same with the Denver and the KC one. Like, watching the highlights from that, where going into the fourth quarter, wasn't it 6-6 or something? Let me double check here. Okay, not 6-6, but you look here and it's like, oh my gosh, it's 6-7 at halftime, and then 6-10, 13-10, 13-13. Like, this is the again. We're talking about defenses and defenses being fun to watch. When it gets to this point, it is not fun to watch because it's boring, because offense isn't playing well. Versus, I know, it's a conundrum. I basically talked myself into, look at this, 66 passing yards, 43 rushing yards, 38 rushing yards. This is not entertaining. This isn't entertaining football. Versus the Monday Night Football game that we had, where, come on, where is it? Where it was also around the same score, same low scoring, only 20 points each. Look at this. Bijan with 195, Stafford with 269, Williams with 92. Puka had some incredible catches. He's not even the leading receiver of the game. Like that, so that's, I know, talked myself into a corner. It kind of makes no sense. Like, what I'm trying to relay, the message that I'm trying to relay here. But anyways, regardless, it was a low-scoring defensive game. The Bills, as much as people hate on the Eagles, and all of this to say, I'll end the stream on this because this is kind of what we came here to do and came here to talk about. So sorry. Without any further ado, let's not waste your time anymore. What I saw in this game a lot is there's parts of me where it's like, you know what? I'm kind of glad the Bills didn't win this game. And the reason why is the Eagles defense shut down the Bills all game. It was all game. Allen looked under duress. He wasn't getting the ball out where he should have. It happened before halftime. There were lots of moments, too, also that nobody's talking about, which it is what it is, whatever. But, there were moments when Buffalo's fans were treating Josh Allen the way Philadelphia fans treat Jalen Hurts, where they're booing the offense off the field because uh, Josh Allen tries to be magic, tries to be a magician. He keeps scrambling, running around, doing circles, and then he takes a 18-yard sack. Yeah, that one before halftime, very crucial because they could have kicked a field goal, made it 10-3 at halftime. But from the 30, he took it all the way back to the 45 or something, took him way out of field goal range. And then people booed the shit out of him off the field there. But they came back in the second half. They did make it interesting. The conditions, too, were terrible. Like, it was raining. And then everybody talks about the 2-point. Personally, with how rough that game was and how the Bills just crawled back into the game to get it tied, to a moment where with a PAT they could tie it, but then having all the momentum of scoring the touchdown, which, by the way, I will also say this. That was a fumble. The Josh Allen fumble that did turn into the Goddard touchdown in the first half, where he had the ball was tucked, and then it loose scramble, and then we're running 10 yards the other way. A lot of people were like, well, the tuck rule, the Tom Brady tuck, it was a fumble. I don't think at any point, because, well, let me show you. Let's pull it up, shall we? Let's pull up Josh Allen fumble. Here we go. Let's pull it up right now. Here we go. Here we go. Hopefully I do not get... Oh man, we are buggy as hell. Why are we buggy? Oh no. Why is it being buggy? Okay, skip. Okay, right. Okay, where? Are we going to do slow-mo here? Okay, let's do slow-mo. Okay. He pump faked. You can tell that he pump faked. Where's... Because somebody... I think somebody... Because this happened... The point I'm trying to make is... The same thing happened the other day with... A quarterback got laid out on the sideline the other day because he danced around the sideline. Was it Jalen Hurts the other day? Okay, see how he loses the ball and then he's getting ready for impact here. But right, so he's trying to do the fake out, okay? We've seen the head fake. You're faking the throw, and because of all the momentum of faking the throw with the wet conditions, the ball slips out. You're not throwing the ball there. Like, that's a live ball. He can't say, oh, I was tucking it because I threw the ball. And then you can, what the fuck are we doing? You can see him losing his shit, and then he does good by going and getting the ball. But like a lot of people would be like, no, it was a fumble. It was a fumble, and the reason why it was a fumble, because there's tucking and then bringing it back in, but because when he brought it back in and it just slipped out of its hand, like, you have to factor the elements into it. So I don't think it was controversial. And it happened in the first quarter too. If this was the fourth quarter, we'll see. We'll see which way people start to lean when the stakes are that much higher. But I mean, it wouldn't be any different. Like, let's say he's stumbling to the ground, and to pull, to what's the word I'm trying to stable himself. He stables himself on the ground and then he fumbles it, kind of like how Lamar did. Shit, you know what? Let's do it again. Let's pull up Lamar Jackson's fumble in the divisional round. Hello. Here we go. Let's do it. Here we go. Oh, another ad. Okay, right. Okay, so he collects it. Excuse me. So he fakes it, and he's being careless with the football, which it is what it is. But then right here, he tries to stabilize himself with the left hand, loses the ball. If it was like that, same thing, same thoughts and opinions. It's a fumble. So, anyways, which I think it has another angle here. Let's go to this angle right here. Right here. So he fakes it. Stiff arm, great play, and then just loses it. Whoop! It happens, even in the biggest of games. So, but I don't hear too much outcry and rage on that right now. So, yeah, we'll just see. We'll just see. Let me get rid of that. Dude, I have so many freaking tabs open. It is not funny. It is not funny. Okay. But so after, well, and then it all led to the 2-point conversion. And I think, truthfully, if I'm going to be real, with the fact that they got it back within reach, Allen's putting the ball where it needs to be, to get him down, and then he's taking it in himself to score the touchdowns and stuff to set up the 2-point. You go for it right there. I think McDermott made the right choice to go for it and not, sit on their hands a little bit and be like, well, we can play for overtime, because, and this is a point that everybody was bringing up and talking about, in a lot of these sports podcasts and sports shows, of how beaten up Josh Allen was getting that game. If you send it to overtime, you risk him getting injured a little bit more. And then the other thing too is, I think offensively, this game falls squarely on the Bills not figuring out what to do earlier in the game, because you look at the box score. Dude, it took them 3 quarters to finally start to get things going. And that's because that's how good the Eagles defense is. Everybody shits on their offense. I get that. And everybody's talking about how Hurts can't throw the ball past 20 yards. Did you all see how many times he was airing it out this game? Like, I love how when the second we jump on board of Hurts can't throw the deep ball, he's throwing deep balls left and right. And especially in this game, too, where it's raining. Like, it's funny. Now, was his passing yards under 200? Yes. It was 110. Okay, whatever. 13 for 27, 1 touchdown. Okay. Did Barkley have a big game rushing? No. But everybody talks about how, oh my gosh, the Eagles suck. The Eagles this, the Eagles that. The Eagles put the MVP last year in a box and stopped the Bills' offense for the majority of the game. Okay? You know what's going to benefit teams when they get to the postseason? Defenses that can stop the all-star quarterback and put the offense in a box. Anybody remember how Super Bowl 48 went? Anybody remembers Super Bowl 50 and how the no-fly zone was able to put, Cam Newton in a box? Like, again, the offense, it has its days. Sometimes it struggles. Sometimes it's really good. But right now, I think the most important thing in the NFL, and the most important thing for all teams as we get to the postseason, is health, and is your defense stopping people. And we saw it today. Well, not today, but on Sunday. We saw that the Eagles could stop the Bills. And so, with how fun this game was and how it could potentially be a Super Bowl preview, the other thing to notice is everybody who's written off the Eagles, how they feeling now? Because, holy shit, look at what the Eagles defense did to Allen and the Bills. They made the Bills look very one-dimensional. Now, I will say also, though, the Bills defense in turn did the same thing to the Eagles, but, still a good game. Still a good game. And then it came down to the 2-point where Allen sails it, and then, it was the right play. Like, he had his dude, he just missed the throw. I'm wondering I'm wonder where we go with play calling from here to the future. Like, and I know that's a huge overreaction, but where, if this situation happens again for the Bills, what do they do? Do they kick the field goal and go to OT? Because when we look at the standings, playoff picture, right now the Bills have to go play the Patriots in New England if playoffs started tomorrow. Okay. So, as fun as yesterday was, where, oh, New England was up 28-0 and the Bills came back. Dude, I don't know. I don't know if Buffalo. I don't know if Buffalo can. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know if Buffalo can do it again. You know what I'm just trying to say? Okay, Chargers. Can the Bills? Okay, we're all sitting here at 11-5. Can Buffalo get to the 5th seed? So Buffalo plays the Jets, I believe. Yes, they play the Jets, and I think they'll probably win and beat the Jets because it's the Jets. Now, who does Houston play? Houston plays the Colts. I could see the Colts. I could see the Colts winning that. I really could. Now, who do the Chargers play? Chargers play the Broncos. Ooh. Where, hold on, division. Clinch division. Z means they've clinched. Okay, so even if the Broncos lost, Chargers would move up. Chargers don't, because these guys are all staying the same. They would move down to the 2. Okay, they'd move to the 2. England would move, because New England's playing Miami. Dolphins are playing good. Well, but Tua's benched. Tua got benched. Never mind. Never mind. Then Jacksonville. And then we already know the 4 seed. 4 seed goes to Baltimore or Pittsburgh. Winner take all. I don't know who wins this game, guys. Who wins this game? I don't know. Parts of me wants to see the Steelers. Parts of me wants to see Lamar. There's the thing of if it's Huntley, I don't know, because Huntley, I know Derrick Henry gave you a good game against the Packers, but that was the Packers. This is the Steelers. The Steelers and the Ravens have always played close. And TJ Watt's also reportedly going to be back. So I think having TJ Watt play and healthy would definitely help Pittsburgh's defense, because look at it this way. Micah Parsons tears his ACL against the Broncos. Fast forward a couple weeks, Packers defense has given up 4 rushing touchdowns. Not to say it correlates, but I'm rambling, truthfully. Sorry, people. Okay. Yeah. I don't think anybody moves. Again, these guys are locked. They're staying here. Panthers are already sitting there. I love this. I love how they're all the way down here at 11, and it's like, no, we still got a chance. Yeah, parts of me want to see Tampa get in as that 4th seed. As stupid as it might be, it's like, you know what? We are rewarding. I know this sounds super stupid, but we are rewarding. Look at the 49ers and the Rams, for example. We are moving the 49ers all the way down to the 5 seed, and they don't get a home game because they didn't win their division, but we'll give the Carolina Panthers, who are 9-8, or the 8-9 Tampa Bucks, if the Bucks win, we'll give them a home game over, which, in a sense, I do agree. Yeah, if you win your division, you should get a home game. But to a T, because it kind of comes to a T, because, I mean, again, we're going to punish the Rams for losing yesterday to the Falcons. We're going to punish the 49ers for not mathematically having a better record than Seattle, where it turns into a winner take all. We're going to punish these three teams to guarantee and give Carolina or Tampa a home game. Parts of me are like, you know what? No, that makes sense. But then other parts of me, it's like Seattle. If Seattle loses now, if Seattle has the one's locked up. They can win the division. All you got to do is go beat San Fran. If they don't beat San Fran, there is parts of me where it's like, yeah, you were the one seed, just like how the Bears were. A handful of weeks before they lost, you had the one seed. You had a shot. You lost. There's parts of me where it's like, yeah, Seattle, you should drop down and you should have to go play the Bucks and be the road team. See ya. Parts of me, a little pettiness, does find that kind of funny and amusing, but other parts of me look and go, you know what? Yeah, Tampa, yeah, Carolina, these teams are still in it and fighting, but there's parts of me that think, you know what? I think Detroit would be a better team either way, because you look at the South, both in the NFC and the AFC. It's kind of like, dude, what the hell? Like, what's going on? What team? Like, you go look at the divisions, standings, divisions. Like, what's the team? Like, look at this. Look at this division. The only ones that did good this year was the Eagles. Which, remember a handful of years ago when all the teams were struggling and we were making fun of them? But, like, look at this. Mediocre. You go here. Now, I will say, Jacksonville and Houston, they've turned it around. But there was a moment where it's like, oh my gosh, who's winning this? Because it was right when the Colts were starting to slip up. Anyways. And then you look at, here's another. Look at all their records. Just mediocre football. Mediocre football here. Mediocre football here. Mediocre football here. Which teams in which divisions are excelling the most? The NFC West, the AFC West, and the AFC East. Sort of. Because nobody thought the Patriots would do this. I think I had them as a 7th seed, sneakily enough. We can go look and we can go watch back my prediction, because I did make a prediction in the preseason. I think I had them winning. I think I had them going 10-7 or 9-8, and being the. I think that's what I had. I think I had it between Dolphins, Patriots. Winner of this was the 7th seed. I think that's how I had it queued out, because I had Bills getting in, Steelers getting in, Ravens getting in, Cincinnati getting in. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, I had the Chargers. I had Chargers in Denver. Winner of this final game being the 7th seed, and then winner of this. Yes, I think. Yeah. I think that's what my prediction was in the preseason. I don't remember. I don't remember off the top of my head. All right. Either way, but then here I had Tampa. I had the 49ers winning the division. I had the Rams being second. What up, dude? I'll read your name extra slow. Extra slow. Shout out to Nick. And then stupidly enough, I hyped on the hype train. I had Washington winning the division, because I thought, you know what, there hasn't been a repeat champ in 20 some odd years. Eagles have a Super Bowl hangout. It don't matter. It don't give a shit. Eagles win it anyways. So, yeah. That's how that goes. That's the standings, guys. And so then we go to conference, where we'll see how these final games go. But basically, to the point though of my last thing, we'll end the stream here because we have been streaming for an hour. The reason why I made this stream is after we watched the brutal loss of the Buffalo Bills, it kind of makes you wonder, if not now, when for Josh Allen. Just because you see who, if the Buffalo Bills are the 7th seed, who they have to go through to get to the Super Bowl. So you win, okay, let's go playoff here. You win, you know, you're the 7th seed, you upset the Patriots or the Broncos here at the 2th seed. And then you know who's waiting for you in the next round? Jacksonville. The winner of Jacksonville versus the Chargers. You see what I mean? They're waiting for you. And then, okay, you get past Jacksonville or the Chargers, you know who's waiting for you on that other end? The winner of Pittsburgh or the Texans, which will probably be the Texans. But then when the Texans play the Broncos, and then you have Broncos Bills for the AFC Championship, and you have to go to Mile High, and you got to go beat Bo Nix, and you got to go beat arguably a top 3 defense in Denver at their place. Tough. That's some tough sledding right there. It's a huge overreaction. Like there's still this last week to play for. Broncos could lose and they could drop to the 2 seed. New England could lose and then Jacksonville catapults them both and they win, and then Jacksonville gets the number 1 seed. We know one thing's for damn sure: it's not going to be the Steelers at 9-7 getting the 1 seed. So it's funny, pretty funny. It's like, what year is this where the Patriots and the Broncos, who would have thought those 2 teams would be the top 2 teams this year? Not me. I thought it'd be flipped, truthfully, when you look at the postseason. I didn't think Kansas City would be down here, but I thought the Bills and the Chargers and the Ravens and the Bengals and the Chiefs, the typical, okay, these are usually the guys that are here running the mill. I thought they would have been the top dogs, but now they're the bottom, so it just shows. But when you look at, and again, this is kind of a thing where we're gonna have, and I might revisit this. I might revisit this prediction, and I might revisit this statement, but we're probably gonna have a tough conversation about Josh Allen and his legacy if they can't get to the Super Bowl this year. And the reason why is, you look at all the teams that he has lost to in the postseason, and you look at all the teams that have given him fits and struggles, and you look at some of the top-end caliber and the top-end talent, and the teams that have been, you know, the obstacles and the building blocks in the way since Josh Allen started becoming a household name back in 2020. But you look at it and you've seen the graphics, they're all eliminated. Bengals are out, Chiefs are out, Ravens are almost out, but right now if the playoffs started tomorrow, they'd be out. Burrow, like, none of the teams he has lost to in the postseason are even there. They've all been eliminated, and so that's why I leave with the question: if not now, when? This is when. This is the year for, if Josh Allen's going to win it, he's got to win it now. And it doesn't matter if he's the 7th seed, if it doesn't matter if he's the 5th, the 3rd, the 2nd, the 1st. Doesn't matter what seed he is, he's got to win it now. And that's what the point of, you know, my whole spiel here and stream was, to go over the standings, go over the scores, talk about the week, but then also just end it and then circle back to Josh Allen is one of the best quarterbacks right now in the league. And when you look at his competition, who he has lost to in the postseason, Chiefs are gone. And so when the, I'm trying to compare it with the NBA, but like LeBron has finally left the East. Toronto can finally get to the NBA Finals because LeBron's not there. Like, Chiefs are gone. Burrow's gone. The Ravens are almost knocked out. It's like this is the Bills' perfect time to go. Can they get there? And that's what all this is for. Do I think they could win the Super Bowl? Absolutely. I'm going to sit on that and ride with that prediction because I'm still. I mean, it's an old prediction, but I wouldn't mind sitting on it for a little bit because I love it. This time last year, because I remember I made a prediction with my buddies and stuff when we were playing baseball. It was going into the divisional week. I made a prediction that the Rams would upset the Eagles. Worst take I've ever had. Okay, worst take. But I predicted, give me Rams Bills in the Super Bowl. And it's like, oh my gosh, why would you predict that? Because it ended up not being, because Saquon had his day. Saquon had a day against Washington. He had a day against the Rams. Like, Saquon last Super Bowl and last postseason, everybody's already forgotten it because they think he sucks. But Saquon was a big reason why the Eagles won the Super Bowl last year. Did he have a big game in the big game? No, he didn't. It surprisingly enough was Jalen Hurts' air attack. Wouldn't you believe that? Him throwing the ball deep down the field that tore up the Chiefs' secondary and defense for them to win. But Saquon on the ground helped get them there by having, I think, 6 touchdowns in the postseason in their 2-game span. Because, no, they weren't the 1 seed. They weren't the 1 seed because they had to play in the wild card. Because they played, yes, who was the 1 seed last year? Oh gosh, I don't even remember because they played in the Detroit. Yes, it was the Detroit Lions. How could I forget? Oh my gosh, I forgot it was Detroit. Look at this. I looked it up. It was Detroit because Detroit lost to Washington. Yes. Durr. Yes. And so that gave them home field because Saquon had 3 touchdowns against them, 2 touchdowns against them, 1 touchdown against them. And he was the reason. He's what got him to the Super Bowl, but no, that was last year. He's a bum. So, anyways, we'll end the stream there, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Shout out to you guys for leaving all the likes and the comments. We've gained a couple subs these last few streams, so thank you. We're gonna do a hard out on the short side. We'll see you guys. Okay, dismiss. Alright, clear that out. Sweet. But, alright, so we'll end the stream there for that. But yeah, I thank you guys for being here. I thank you guys for hanging out. Bills dropped to 11-5. Kind of a tough loss. Definitely not what they wanted, but it's just kind of there's parts of me that think when, because you look at how not young, but this is Bo Nix's second year. This is Drake May's second year. Josh Allen's been in the league for how long? Burrow's playing phenomenal right now, even though the Bengals have been eliminated. But it's like, if Burrow didn't get injured, how many games are the Bengals winning this year? You see what I mean? And then if Kansas City, I can't say if Patrick Mahomes wasn't. Chiefs were already on the verge of getting eliminated before he ever tore his ACL. So that's out of the question. But, like, again, you look at if Lamar Jackson didn't miss time and the Ravens were dealing with nagging injuries, if the Bengals weren't injured, if Houston, if CJ Stroud and that offense could play better offense with how good that defense is to complement them, where's this easy path for Josh Allen to just magically turn it on next year to go to the Super Bowl or the year after that or so on and so forth. And then even with hey, look at what's going on in Jacksonville right now, where the Jags beat the Chiefs, lost a couple after that, which made them go, okay, maybe they are frauds, but then they've been able to accumulate, I think, 3 wins in, no, not 3. Look how many wins in a row. Because, yeah, they beat the Chiefs, but then they lost to the Seahawks and Rams, and it's like, are these guys legit? But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins. 8 out of their last 9. Chargers, quality win. Again, Chargers is a quality win, Broncos is a quality win, and the Colts are a quality win. The Titans, the Chargers, the Raiders, sweep it under the rug because it is what it is. These teams are minus 500, but again, who's, Jacksonville, so Jacksonville's just going to roll over and let the Bills win? No. So that's why I made this stream, because there's parts of me that it's like we talk about the Super Bowl window, and being a Packers fan, it's like, oh, Aaron Rodgers' window was his whole career. Not a lot of quarterbacks can say that their Super Bowl window was their whole career, but with all these things that I've laid out for what could stand in Josh Allen's way, it's very kind of concerning to be like, dude, yeah, if you don't win in this year, you're probably, that window could be closing. And then we would have Colin Cowherd, or who else? I'm trying to think of any other sports pundits that would come out and officially be like, I'm officially making a statement, the Bills Super Bowl window is closed. But I mean, even if, okay, let's say the Bills do go on a run here, they get to the Super Bowl, to see who's on the other side waiting for them in the NFC. You got the Rams. I know the Rams just lost, but the Rams, the 49ers, the Eagles, who they just played and lost to, or the Bears. It's not going to be it's not going to be the Bears. But I say that, and then watch it be the stinking Bears. So parts of me feel like this could be a weird ass Super Bowl where it's like, where freaking Texans Bears. I would not watch that Super. Well, I would. Who are we kidding? I'd watch it, but it's like, really. But anyways, we'll end the stream here, guys. I thank you for hanging out with me. Thanks for leaving the likes and stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream, but that's my thoughts on that. I think Josh Allen can still, I think he can still get to a Super Bowl, but this has got to be the year. This has got to be the year that he gets to it. I know that like they lost a tough one against the Eagles, but it's like, you know what? That if they play the Broncos defense, I'll be interested to see. But Eagles defense, that, if I'm trying to look at it hypothetically, I don't think the Patriots defense is as good as the Eagles for Allen. But like, you look at it, it's like Eagles might, that punch in the mouth by the Eagles might be the best thing that happened to him, because when you look at, if standings stay the same, they could get it done against the Patriots, because the Patriots, I would say the Eagles are a little better than the Patriots, but that's just me. So anyways, that's neither here nor there, guys. Thank you for hanging out here with me. We'll end the stream here. Let me make sure. Should we do an outro? Let me go. Whoops. Yeah, I knew we didn't have the outro ready. Wait, where's the, right there. Okay, there we go. But I thank you guys for hanging out with me. Listen to me ramble for well over an hour talking about sports. Dude, we didn't even get to the college playoff bracket, because I need to make a prediction and an official prediction on that, and I never did, which, whoops. Basically, when we look at the bracket, let me pull it back up here. Oh, I'm so fired, bro. I'm so fired. I didn't even get the bracket pulled up. Okay. All right. Whoops. Zoom in a little. Okay. Ready? Watch this. Ta-da! Spoiler alert. Ta-da! Spoiler alert. Ta-da! Spoiler alert. I didn't change anything. Okay? I didn't change anything. I still think the outcome might be the same from my predictions earlier, but we'll probably do we'll do a video on that later. I've been yapping too much, but thanks guys for hanging out. These are my thoughts and predictions on sports world and everything that's going on. But be sure to hit that like button. We'll be doing a gaming stream after this, so be sure to tune into that a little bit later. We'll be continuing what we were playing a little bit earlier, but I thank you guys for hanging out with me. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next stream.